Okay, so let's just throw the review on to the end of the game.
No, just a disclaimer.
You weren't paying attention.
I was a little spacey during this whole Let's Play, mainly because I just didn't really care about the game.
Alright, so basically we're just going to go over each item in our reviewing criteria and see how we each feel about it.
Yeah.
So the first thing on the list is atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
How did the game present itself? How did the game present itself as scary? Did it set a tone? Did it set a words that do something? Or just talk.
I think that coupled with the power of the GameCube, I know people are gonna be like, haha.
It was better than the PS2.
You have to know, yeah, it had a lot better of a processor, like almost double the processing speed. I don't know the chip in it, but the game looks really good. Like I think I said earlier in an episode, and I kind of went back on my own words, but
if we judge things on graphics,
no, I'm just saying the graphics helped its case.
Yes, but if we judge things solely on graphics, then what's going to happen when we get to Sweet Home and Phantasmagoria?
Yeah, that is true.
Because they look like ass.
But all I'm saying,
before their time,
without the power that the GameCube had and put on display, as you saw in the episodes, it's a really good looking game that helped its atmosphere in the sense that
you're saying that they used what was available to a good extent,
and it kind of saved it.
It saved it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For me, it was kind of definitely not the strongest in the series, because there are games before this one in the series that I thought had way better atmosphere, and they look like shit, or less.
Yeah.
Well or good, less good. I don't know.
Less goodly.
So, are we giving out the score that we gave it? We each gave it, or?
By all means, by all means.
I guess 5 on this scale is average, and that's what I gave it.
5 is an average.
It's average. It's not...
We're trying not to have a 4-point scale around here, but things should be in the range of 5 to 9 if they're going to be a playable game.
So I thought it did okay. The atmosphere was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. It did the job. And
I think it did a 6. Honestly, the same exact thing that you said, except I'm just a bit more lenient, I think.
But I think that, and I'm going to repeat this same thought throughout this review, is that at this point in the series, it just kind of felt samey to me. I don't know.
All right, creativity. What did this game bring to the table that was new for the horror genre? How much did it rely on existing horror tropes, and what did it try that was new?
Again, I don't think it really tried a whole lot.
I personally think it tried quite a bit that was new. It was just kind of overshadowed by sameness.
Yeah. And this is
it tried the 2-person team. It tried the co-op, the puzzles, that required 2 people.
So the thing that's hard about this because that could fall under gameplay.
See, that could fall.
Which is where I was a lot nicer to the game.
All right, well.
So creativity, pretty much the same as I gave it last time. Just kind of like
5.
It's okay. It's not
middle of the road.
It's middle of the road. I mean,
it's very safe. It's
not
a safe game. But
we'll elaborate on that a little bit later.
This is the Final Fantasy 13 of Resident Evil games.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't even want to go off on that because this is not nothing to do with that. Okay. So moving on.
Gameplay.
This is where I thought the game shined the most. Other than one little caveat, which is why I didn't even go any higher on what I gave it, is the GameCube controller. It works, but it's like Nintendo just tries to be different for being different's sake. It's like
that's why we've got the fucking Z trigger on the N64 with your hand in the middle.
If you remember the episode where I actually tried to play the game, I'm no stranger to tank controls. It's been a freaking decade probably since I've used them, but that joystick just felt so floaty, and the GameCube controller has a D-pad, but it's in a weird freaking place, and it's just so tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny, and it's not.
And that's why that's why I thought where the gameplay suffered the most. As far as everything else goes, though, I liked the 2-person team and all that stuff, but that again is what affected the atmosphere for me. Is that you were not alone. You're not on your own.
It's less scary when you have a companion.
Exactly. Like, even though it's some stupid computer AI controlled entity
that doesn't ever fire its frickin' handgun.
And really, things haven't changed so much in 10 years because AI for your computer controlled people in the latest games in the series sucks too.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 6
because I thought it's a pretty solid game. I mean, like, we can bring up the item management stuff like that for that.
Yeah, the item management
to me is a double-edged sword because on one hand, I don't have any space for this item. Well, I can just drop something off.
Yeah, you don't have to run back to the storage chest. You don't have to use stuff up on the fly. And again, I don't remember if Remake or this one was the first one to use herbs on the fly, but that's honestly a good thing.
It's a very good thing. But it's a double-edged sword, like I was saying, because you don't have to run back to storage chests, but you're still going to backtrack, because somewhere along the line, you're going to drop off an item for another item, and you're like, oh, crap, I needed that item.
Grappling hook.
Yeah, I know, right? And then you're going to be, like, backtracking. The maps are pretty decent, actually, and they tell you where you have items.
The map for that last zone is fucking useless. 9 floors of where the fuck am I?
Granted, I don't think we had too much trouble with item management in that last part, or you didn't.
The last part, no.
So that's why I gave it a higher score, because it's a very solid game. It's just the joystick's a little floaty for me. That's about the only thing that I had a problem with.
I gave it a lower score because, honestly, we should have been beyond tank controls at this point, and you made the statement earlier. Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, did Silent Hill 4 come out before this game? Because that's a plethora of games from the same genre that used to have the same controls that have moved on from using the gimmick to try and induce more fear in you.
Well, when really it just induces rage.
Which brings us to our next point.
And cursing, yes. Okay.
Balance. The difficulty curve. Does the game challenge you enough that you want to overcome it, but not so much that you want to throw the controller at the wall and yell, "Fucking horse shit!"
I thought it, from what I saw, and what I, played a little, I guess, I thought it did a pretty good job, actually. That's why I gave it a 7. I thought that there was never anything like that I saw that seemed like it would induce such rage and cursing.
Bill, there's that, the occasional, oh, fuck.
And I brought this up to him a little bit ago. I'm like, fuck monkey. But I guess running away counts as overcoming something too.
Well, yeah.
Because
the leech zombies.
Those leech zombies are a fucking pain in the ass, and when you run into one in a fucking small hallway,
I swear they were not that fast at the beginning of the game.
You pretty much have to take a hit because. Yeah.
We actually skipped a topic.
What did we skip?
We skipped storytelling.
We'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, I thought it was pretty well balanced. It's not a hard game. If I had played it from the beginning and learned the controls, I'm not good at puzzles though. I know I'm my biggest weaknesses, but
it's forgiving. We played on normal? Did we play on normal? I don't remember because I set the difficulty
I played
in 2012 and it is not 2012.
For any Let's Play, unless I want to be like walk up into the room, look like I got a big I don't know.
What the fuck?
I just play it on normal. I don't try and.
But playing on normal, as many people would the first playthrough, if this was their introduction to the series, it's challenging enough. It doesn't make you really want to give up, just because fuck this game.
There are other things in this game that might make you not want to play it, like aforementioned item crap and
the item crap. The item crap is a double-edged sword, yes.
Okay,
but the healing items are spaced properly. They're spaced to the point where you can use them just fine.
I would even say they're a little more lenient on you than anything.
I think it's actually less lenient than the rest of the Resident Evil series.
Oh, really?
The healing items? They're just placed just right, I think.
Okay. So we're pretty much settled on that.
Yeah, we're settled on that. We both gave it a 7.
So let's go back up to storytelling.
Storytelling, yes, we skipped storytelling.
I was more lenient on this just because I didn't really pay attention to the story. I think.
Yep, there was a story. It happened.
It's Resident Evil. I mean, there's some, the cheesy story, why you're there and what you're doing. Have fun. Don't get killed.
See, it really.
And James Marcus.
See, I keep bringing up James Marcus because I want you to pay attention to that, because that's the only fucking plot point in the entire game, is that cheese dick reveal in the last 5 minutes that the Queen of the Leeches, who's been fucking with you on and off for the whole game, is James Marcus.
Ah.
That's it. There's very little point to this game, storyline-wise.
See, I guess storyline, I give it a 5, average, completely average.
I gave it a 3.
Just because...
fucking 3.
You're trapped in a mansion or whatever area, and you go to one area, and you gotta... it's like, whatever.
And I gave it a 3 for the same reason as you go to this place in the middle of nowhere and blah, whatever.
Pretty much more the same.
Yeah, it's more of the same.
It's already been done a few times. So, and I think the fact that we've had other Resident Evil games before this that were a lot more encompassing, or where there's more environment, more varied shit to do. You know, whatever, you know.
There was a variety of places to be. That's part of the atmosphere. That's part of the gameplay. That's not...
Yeah. So...
You're on a train. That's great.
Kind of neat, but... Yeah, okay, well, anyway. So that we're getting off topic here. So yeah, storyline, he didn't really like it. I didn't really pay attention, so I was just a little too fair, probably. So yeah, just more the same for me.
Alright, so we move on to flaws.
Flaws.
Our system has 2 flaws. And those are lack of replay. Replay value should exist in a horror game. It's become a staple, honestly. New Game Pluses are a thing that honestly have happened and should happen in this genre.
And that's mainly because the games are so damn short.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, usually. Well, even 7 hours or however long our file was, that's still...
Our file was 10 hours, but only like 7 hours of that was actually playing.
Yeah, I mean...
But the rest of that is me leaving the game on while you drive Alan home drunk.
Yeah, when you think about it, this game was probably $50 when it came out new, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I don't know about you, but to me, $50 for 4 to 7 hours of fun is bordering on not really worth your money. So yeah, they kind of have to add more stuff in. But at the same time, if I don't feel motivated to do any of that stuff,
true.
You know, what's the point for me? You know, we're spoiled this day and age. You know, 10 years later, or even 5 or 6 years after this game came out, where they could tack on DLC and add more to the game.
Yeah.
So I guess we have a range of 0 for it's fine to up to
0 is no problems whatsoever. Just it's fine.
Up to a -5. I give it a -2
because you honestly wouldn't have any reason to play this game again, even with the extra modes.
I couldn't be bothered.
You couldn't be bothered?
No, because it's so the same. Yeah.
I gave it a 0 because this game honestly has plenty of extra modes. It's got at least 3 difficulty levels. I don't remember. It's got easy, normal, hard.
For its time.
It's got New Game Plus carryover features. It's got the Leech Hunter minigame, which unlocks weapons for the main game, which unlocks unlimited ammo for certain weapons for the main game. It's got unlockable costumes. It's fine on replay value for me.
Okay.
And since as I said before, the game, under balance at no point made me want to throw my controller at the wall. It's a thing. I would play this game again someday. Probably. I would just skip the cutscenes because the story's shit.
Probably, yeah. And I think for the time that it came out, it probably had a pretty good feature list of extra stuff to do compared to what previous entries into the series had. But for me, like I said, more the same, whatever. I don't really have... I'd move on, but that's just my opinion.
Moving on.
The
last flaw is cheap scares.
Another 0 to -5 of taking off the top of the score.
See, if the game over abuses shock scares for no purpose whatsoever, then that's generally detracting from what the game should be going for, honestly. Maybe I'm too spoiled from the Japanese psychological horror games, the Silent Hills, the Resident Evil. Well, not Resident Evils really, but in a way, yeah. That you should get that feeling of dread and not that feeling of, ah! Oh, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, my first game in the series was 2.
Yes.
And back in the day, that shit scared me.
Yeah. I'm low on ammo. I'm limping.
See, my problem with...
Oh god, what's behind that door?
I gave this a 0 myself because I didn't really feel like the game was all that scary in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, you could say that walking around a corner, seeing a leech zombie, and you know they're bad, and like, oh my god, you're scared.
Yeah, that could
you
be
could
a
see
cheap
that as
scare,
a cheap scare, but the fact that you can run around it, for the most part, unless you just have, like, your Magnum with a bunch of rocket.
Very limited number of cheap scares, just leech zombies and the Centurion boss.
Yeah.
Which I think, honestly, you went, oh, fuck, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's...
But it's not like it jumped out at me and scared me. It was just like that I saw it and I'm like,
it's like, oh, damn, that's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, you know, and the fuck monkeys.
Yeah, the fuck monkeys.
They were not
that probably wasn't a cheap scare for you because I told you they were coming.
Yeah, but they're just so quick and, you know, a cheap scare would be trying to use the tank controller. No, I'm just kidding. But,
so for me, this game has no flaws. I give that a 0 as well.
I give it a 0 because it just, to me, it wasn't all that scary.
I'm not saying it has no flaws as in it has no flaws. I'm just saying its merits aren't strong, but it has no flaws.
So
if that makes any sense.
It could.
It could?
It could.
It makes sense in the context of the system we're using.
Yeah, just yeah.
Alright, so we add it all up into our magic mathatron, which is me doing math in my head. And apparently we both end up with the same score.
Yeah, we gave it a 5.4. So
5.4 out of 10.
And now you might be like, that's horrible, but on his scale...
on this scale, 5 is average.
Yes.
I cannot express that enough. 5 is a game that is playable, that has some reason to exist.
Pretty much the scale makes a 8, 9, or 10 an 8, 9, or 10. Like, you should play this game.
9 or a 10, there will never be a 10.
No, there won't.
If there is a 10...
We're cheating.
On this scale... if there is ever a game
we're talking out our ass.
If there is ever a game that gets a 10 on this scale, you should never play it. Ever.
Because you'll just be disappointed.
Because its grand perfection will be so great that the rest of your life will seem dull and you will probably turn suicidal. It will be that perfect.
Whoa. That's deep.
That's deep.
That is very deep.
There shouldn't be a 10. Ever.
You never know. Hey, it's the first time for everything. But anyway, that's what we thought of the game. I'll try and be a little more involved in the next one because I'm going to actually be playing it.
Yeah, I'll actually be playing it.
So
you played this one?
Yeah.
And then I just played over it.
For like 5 seconds. But, anyway, yeah, I think that's good, right?
I think we've probably gone over our time.
Probably.
That's fine.
So anyway.
We'll see you on our next project.
Yeah, see you guys later.